What's up, y'all? As you can see behind me, I'm out here at the range today doing a bunch of testing and having some fun. This one right here should be very interesting. We're going to check out my personal top 3 picks for 380 auto. So we got the contraption set up with the chrono and 2 blocks of gel. Now I've done one test in this gel already. I'll leave a link up above if y'all hadn't seen that. It was a pretty interesting 38 special test. But like I said, for this one, we're checking out some 380 rounds. These 3 rounds here are what I would choose if I was going to run a 380 based on the testing that I've done so far. Now, I'm not saying there's not some other ones out there that do a decent job, or maybe some out here to do better than this. I don't know. But this is all my personal opinion. In my opinion, these are the best 3 rounds that you could carry for defensive purposes in a 380. Now, I'm not going to put these in any particular order as far as 1, 2, 3. We're just going to do a top 3 here. So the first one we're going to look at here is the Federal Premium HydroShock Deep. 99 grain. It's got that HydroShock Deep projectile on it. Very nice penetration from these rounds and plenty of expansion to get the job done. Next up, y'all know Underwood's going to be in here, so we're going to go with the Underwood Extreme Penetrators, the 90 grain Extreme Penetrator standard pressure. Now, I've tested the penetrators in standard and plus P and the defenders in standard and plus P, and looking back at those results, this is the one I came up with as my choice. This is the one I would go with, would be the 90 grain standard pressure Extreme Penetrator. And then the third one might surprise some people, but probably not a lot of other people, and that's a good old Full Metal Jacket, a 95 grain flat nose Full Metal Jacket Winchester. For a 380, you know, penetration is hard to come by and get good expansion, and I'm in the camp that if I'm using this little old tiny thing, I want to get to where I need to get to. So penetration is king as far as I'm concerned on a 380, so that's why my third choice would be this Full Metal Jacket. Now, as you can see, we are adding the heavy clothing element to this test, so we got 1 layer of fleece, 1 layer of denim, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt material on the front of the gel there. And then for the tool today, we're going to use the Ruger LCP Max. This has got that 2.78 inch barrel, I believe it is, just a little under 2 3/4 inch barrel. So this one ought to be very interesting. I'm pretty confident that these 3 picks are not going to have any problem even through this clothing barrier, but I could be surprised. Let's get this stuff set up and let's see what we get. All right, y'all, let's get some speeds on all these rounds. I'm going to do a 3 round average on each one of them. I'll start with the FMJs, and then we'll do the Underwoods, and then we'll do the HydroShock Deep. So let's see what these Full Metal Jackets can do out of this little old pocket carry. 822, 811, and 839. So let's check that average out. All right, so our 3 round average on the Full Metal Jacket is 824 feet per second. Let me get this reset and let's check out them Underwoods. All right, y'all, let's check out these 90 grain Extreme Penetrators. I'm gonna do a 3 round average on these also. Got 963, 1044, and 1000. I can definitely tell you there's a lot more snap out of these, so let's go check that average. All right, so the 3 round average on those Extreme Penetrators was 1002 feet per second, so definitely faster than the FMJ. But let's reset it and let's check out those HydroShock Deeps. All right, last but not least is the HydroShock Deep. Now, these are the 99 grainers, so these are the heaviest of the bunch, so be curious to see what we get from these. Got 839, 842, and 861, so about the same as the FMJ, really. Let's check the average. All right, so the 3 round average on our HydroShock Deep was 840 feet per second, and just to refresh your memory, the Full Metal Jacket was 824, and Extreme Penetrators was 1002, so I'm expecting all 3 of these to do good in the gel, even through this cloth barrier, but stranger things have happened, so let me get this reset, and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's pocket podium jelly time. We're gonna put 1 round of each into the gel. We're gonna do the same order. So FMJ, Underwood, and HydroShock Deep. But let's see what we get here. All right, I can barely see where it went in that black fleece down there. Let's go check it out and see what happened. All right, y'all, we're actually looking pretty good down there on that FMJ, so let's see what this Extreme Penetrator will do, see if it'll live up to its namesake. This is where things are gonna get tricky on this block with this cloth covering it. It's just very hard to see. I'm gonna try to go above that FMJ. I'm not sure where I went, y'all. Let me go down there and check it out. All right, y'all, we're looking good down there. I couldn't hardly see where it went because it went right beside that FMJ, but it still made its own hole in the cloth and the gel and everything. So definitely a valid test. So let's see what this Hydra Shock Deep can do. It's got its work cut out for it. I hope it don't let me down, y'all. I'm gonna try to go underneath those other two. Again, I can't see my entry. Let me make sure it's all right down there. All right, that was definitely not okay. I put it right in the edge of the wood and it totally kept it from expanding or doing anything. So let me try to move that thing up a little bit. I went too low on that one. All right, I just can't see my entries on that dark stuff. Let me go see what's down there. All right, y'all, let's check out what we got down here. Things got a little bit messy down here, but I'm gonna give you some different angles so you can get a good enough view. Both of these right here in the front, these are side by side. That's the FMJ and the Underwood. The FMJ is the one that splits off towards the top, as you can see right here. Goes into the second block, looks like 2 or 3 inches. Now, the Underwood Extreme Penetrator is the one below it and in front of it. It goes downwards, and you can see here into that second block a little bit further, and it's actually tumbled around backwards. As far as the disruption in the wound channel, very, very similar. I mean, very, very similar. Even with that Extreme Penetrator tumbling, it's still very similar to that FMJ, and I'll show you from above here in a second. But as for my Hydra Shock Deeps here, not very impressive. The first one, which is totally invalid, hit that wood, and you can see that's the one going at an angle. And it's got a nice little bit of disruption there, but that's probably where it tumbled because it's sitting here backwards, and I can see in the front of that projectile that it's clogged up with material. And then the same story on that last one we took, came in right here, so no kind of interference from the bottom of the wood down there. As you can see, like just pencil thin, no expansion on it. It came in here, kind of ricocheted, didn't really touch it, but it got affected by that air bubble, but that's fine. We had already seen what we needed to see at that point. It's dumping material along the way, comes into the second block, no expansion on that one either, and I think I can tell that it's clogged with material as well. But let's get some penetration measurements on them. The FMJ, exactly 19 inches. The Extreme Penetrator, 20.5 inches, and then those Hydra Shock Deeps, the bad one, it ricocheted at 13, and then the one that's a valid one is 17.5. So actually great penetration on all 3 of them. So here we are from above. The very bottom track, that's the Extreme Penetrator, and this one right up above it, that's the FMJ. So as you can see, as far as disruption and wound channel, very, very similar. Like I said, even though that penetrator tumbled, I'm imagining this is where it tumbled. Very similar action from the FMJ and that penetrator, which it kind of stands to reason. You know, that's a flat nose FMJ, so even with the fluting on this penetrator, it's kind of, you know, the flat nose FMJ is very, very similar as far as action, and as you can see, it shows in the gel. All right, y'all, let's check out these projectiles. So over here, obviously, you got the FMJ, the Extreme Penetrator, no kind of deformation on either one of these, totally intact, completely just like they were when they were in the case. Now, over here, you got the Hydra Shock Deeps. Very interesting on these. They both clogged, as you can see. This one clogged with nothing but cloth. That's the one, the last one we took that stayed in. This is the first one we took that actually hit the wood and then came up into the gel. And interestingly enough, even hitting that wood could not get it to open up after it had clogged from that cloth. So yeah, I don't know about these things through clothing. Now, that being said, I would still use these because they still got plenty of penetration. I mean, just like a FMJ basically, but cost wise, I don't know if there's any need to spend the money on these things after seeing what I'm seeing here. Now, as far as date on these things, I'm not even going to measure them because there's absolutely no expansion on any of them. I will get a weight on them though, just to see what kind of weight we're looking at. The penetrator started at 90, and we are at exactly 90 grains from that Underwood Extreme Penetrator. The FMJ was 95, 95.6, so a little heavy on the FMJ even. And then these Hydra Shock Deeps were 99. So this one right here 100.6. I guess that's a little bit of cloth. And then this one here is 100.9. So the little bit of cloth and wood that this one carried with it. But there you have it, y'all. My personal top 3 380 picks. Do I still stand by this? I still stand by these two. Now, unfortunately, this HydroShock Deep, it just ain't cutting it through cloth. Now, like I said, I would still use this because it's still getting plenty of penetration. I mean, it's not expanding, but neither are these. But as much as I hate to say it, for the cost, I'd probably leave these HydroShock Deeps sitting on the shelf. So if I were going to choose one of these rounds after seeing the performance I saw here today, I gotta say it'd be the FMJ. For the cost and the performance, this FMJ performed basically just like this Underwood Extreme Penetrator. But y'all let me know what y'all's thoughts are on these rounds. All right, y'all, we're calling it right there for another very interesting 380 test. So what do y'all think about my personal top 3 380 picks? Every one of them I still stand by, except, like I said, that HydroShock Deep. And even still, I would use that. Don't get me wrong, I'd have no problem using that, but I wouldn't purposely go spend that extra money to get those rounds over just a regular FMJ. But again, y'all let me know what y'all's thoughts are. What do you think about these 3 rounds that I picked, and what would be your pick as far as a top round or a top 3 round? Let me know down in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you take a second and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell notification icon so you can get notified when I upload new stuff. Y'all take a second during this shopping season and check out my affiliate links down in the video description. If you shop through Amazon anyway, hit that link down there up. You go straight through Amazon like normal from there, and anything you buy after that, I get a kickback from them towards the channel. If you or somebody else you know could use some fantastic ear pro, check out those Axle affiliate links. You can save a bunch of money going through those links instead of straight through their site. I really do appreciate all my Range Gang members for hitting that join button, and every single one of y'all out there for supporting the channel. I've got a lot of good stuff coming y'all's way, so make sure you be on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.